Hey there, in this video we're going to be talking about what to do if you are sensitive to supplements. So you may have been diagnosed or think that you have mast cell activation syndrome or multiple chemical sensitivity, or maybe just find that you just can't tolerate a lot of foods, or that you walk by somebody who's got fragrance and you get a headache. So all these can be signs that your liver is overburdened and that your immune system is hyperreactive. And this is all because the amount of toxins that you have in your body. It just means you have an excess of heavy metals, chemicals, molds, infections, allergies, negative emotions that have filled up this barrel that is your body and is overflowing. Okay, so then what do we do? How do we remove the toxicities when you're really sensitive and you can't take anything orally? Because a lot of you, if you are hypersensitive, then you toss a capsule into your mouth. Doctor is going to say, or practitioner says, "Oh my gosh, that thing is so weak," and yet you're reacting to it. Okay, so the way that you do it is you just don't put things into your mouth. Don't take them internally. We take them externally or topically. Okay, so this is going to mean any sort of tinctures that we have, we want to start at a low dose just by rubbing them onto your hands and working our way up from there, knowing that about 5 drops topically on the hands is equal to 1 drop orally. So oftentimes you can work up by doing that. The other thing is that you're also going to want to potentially skip step 2. So in terms of the tinctures that we have available, step 2 has some adrenal tinctures which may be supportive, but the rest of it really can't be done topically. And so you're probably going to want to go from step 1 to step 3 and then into step 4. Step 3 really being the most important in your case because you have to open up the detoxification pathways. The other thing that's going to be helpful is using some technologies that don't require you to swallow pills. So this means sauna, castor oil packs, coffee enemas, red light therapy, lymph brushing or skin brushing. So those are just some general ideas about things that you can do that can be really supportive for detoxification if you cannot tolerate things orally. So for example, with the sauna, you have to, like with all these things, you have to start low and go slow. I always recommend that you start with, one new thing a week. If you're more sensitive, you're not going to ramp up by every 4 days. You're going to ramp up by every 7 to 14 days. Okay. And with the sauna, for example, you start off at 5 minutes and try that once a week, see how you react. And then you can go to twice a week, and then you can start to increase by 1 minute every week. And so you just want to be as scientific as possible. There is no right or wrong, except if you go too fast. So you just want to go slow and start low and go slow. Same thing with castor oil packs, do it for a certain amount of time, 5, 10 minutes once a week, see how you tolerate it. Um, so those are just some ideas. Now I'd like to jump into the supplement intro chronology as well, and let's take a look at that and give you some idea about what you should be ordering then from the supplement stores, whether you're domestic or international, so that you can get started fixing your fatigue, opening your detoxification pathways. The other thing that I would like to discuss is along the lines of some of those technologies is that we really want to clean out your environment. So you want to make sure you've got clean water, you've got clean air, you've got, I'm forgetting something, but you want to just have the cleanest environment as possible. So we'll talk about that, and I'll show you some of the things that I recommend for that too. So let's go ahead and jump into that next video. All right, so let's take a look. Let's start off with the supplement intro chronology so you can see. So for people who are in the United States domestically, what you want to look at on this sheet, the supplement introduction chronology, which kind of gives you an idea about how you're going to introduce the supplements, is you're going to want to look for what's available in drops. Okay, so for example, adrenal support, well, actually, let's start off first. Daily practice, incredibly important for mindset. The Inner Balance HRV or Heart Rate Variability app, incredibly important for putting you into parasympathetic. So these are things that you can do that don't require supplements. This is capsules, and so what you're going to want to get is the Adrenal Para NS, which is a tincture, and then the other one is also just called Adrenal by Nutrimetics. Okay, and this is um, 10 drops in morning and noon, ramping up to that, ramp up, over 2 weeks or so. Now, like I said, all of these things um, you're actually going to start topically on the hand, and you're going to increase by a drop topically on the hand every week until you get up to 5 drops topically on the hand, and that's when you can switch to oral, because that's generally when you're going to be able to tolerate it. If you find that you're reacting before you get up to that amount, then you're going to want to switch, or you're going to want to decrease the frequency, or it may not be the right therapy for you. So decreasing the frequency would be increasing by maybe a drop every 2 or 3 weeks. Um, but if you're not tolerating it well, then you just want to move on. Because we're going to find something that's going to work for you, that's going to open up your detoxification pathways. In this case, with the adrenals, we're supporting the adrenals. And so those are going to be things we just have to find out what's going to work for you. So you just want to keep pivoting. So let's take a look. So in terms of so yeah, so let's take a look here. So under step 3 and detoxification, you'll see where it says drops, right? So detox 1, BT detox, NT detox are all going to be really supportive. If you're looking for alternatives that are single agents, if you see here, parsley is by Nutrimedics. That's a nice option. Um, let's see, the Berber Panella is really a nice option as well. Um, and you can get that separately as Berber and Panella. And those are also by Nutrimedics and really nice options for opening up the detox pathways. These are also present or available to the international folks. So we'll talk about those more in a second. This is these are drops as well. One of the things that you can do as well is if you Control F on a PC or Command F on a Mac and you type in drops, you can see all of the places where it says drops, so you can have an idea of all of the things that you can potentially order. So PST is for going after chemicals. So this would be something that you would, once you've worked up to a significant amount of these drops up here for step 3, this is starting to remove some chemicals, which is really nice. Um, so if you take a look here, biocide in liquid, that's wonderful for killing off some infections in the gut, bacteria and yeast. AP complex is going after parasites in the gut. You've got a lot of these Byron White formulas that are very potent tinctures. So ABAB, once again, drops. These are all really amazing for their different infections. Bartonella, Anaplasma, which sometimes we'll use Amyco as well. That can be supportive. The EBH6 for Epstein-Barr virus, AL complex for Borrelia, the IMNV3 for COVID-19. So there are a lot of nice options that we have available to us with the drops. Let's see if there's any other drops. So this is for sinuses. These you're putting drops inside of a neti pot or a Neomed bottle. And then these are also quite good, even though they are oral. So the prebiotics, the Mega IgG 2000, the Mega Mucosa, the prebiotics, those can actually be quite helpful as well, even if you are very sensitive. They're very healing. They're made by a company called Microbiome Labs, and we have had people in our program that have had good success with them, decreasing their sensitivities and healing their guts. So if we take a look at the international folks, same thing. We're looking at adrenal support. And then this is pretty cool too, the Amantia, which is really nice for sleep and anxiety. I should mark that down here as well. And so that's really nice with these drops. And then here's and these are all Nutrimedics formulas. Here's the parsley, the Berber Panella, and you can get those separately, like I mentioned, if you find that you're reacting to them together. Berber is like liver detox. The Panella is wonderful for neuropathies. Sparga is great for detoxifying sulfur. If you've ever had sulfur drugs, really supportive. Cilantro is great for removing heavy metals and chemicals. And then we've got antifungal cumanda and then ennula for parasites. Cemento and Banderol for some of the Lyme type infections, Mora for Babesia, the Kina, Hatunia. So these are all really nice options for removing Takuna, really nice options that you have available to you topically. Okay. And then also here's the microbiome or the microbiome um, lab formulas here that can really help decrease your sensitivities and heal the gut. So then some of the products that you can use to decrease the toxicities in your environment. First one is the microbalance health products. So if you come here, and so this is all found on the recommend on my website. You click on recommended, you get this site. These are all the products that I recommend. So if you come here to microbalance health products, they've got a lot of great stuff for mold. So they've got products that where you can clean your clothes, put them in your laundry. Um, they've got some. I wouldn't recommend their testing for mold. I mean, it's okay, but it's not what we recommend. But if you take a look at the products that I really wanted you to see are like the air purification candle, which is really nice for your environment if you're living in mold. Here's a number like the environmental kit is a good one. Um, let's see, I wanted to show you the fogger. So these are nice products for cleaning as well as putting in the laundry. Here's the fogger, so you can get the solution bundle, and this also has a clothes bundle too. So for $400, that can be really supportive for cleaning your space, and we talk more about that in the mold section. But that's going to really help clean out your environment, especially if you're not sure about whether or not you have mold. Um, Here's the sauna that I recommend. It's a portable sauna. It is low EMF and consequently low toxicity, and it is a far infrared sauna. Um, this is really nice for non-toxic laundry soap. So their policy at My Green Fills is basically that you only buy the bottles once, and then they send you the products, or they send it to you in the powder later. And this is all very non-toxic. I've been impressed with their products for sure. I can't tolerate fragrances, and they're using essential oils. So if you can tolerate essential oils, then you should be okay. Air Doctor is one of my favorite um, air filters because it gets down to 0.003 microns, which is the size of mycotoxins. So that's a really great one. Here's some information on enemas like we talked about. Here's the coffee and there's the enema kit. Making sure that you're consuming water, clean water. I don't have an water filter on here. The one that I like is actually by the name of Aquasana. So I'll have to add that, aquasana.com. I found that to be the best bang for the buck. It's the one that I have in my house, a whole house water filter. But, making sure that you've got a good water bottle, that you're storing things in glass containers. This is more stuff for mold. So this is making sure your humidity is staying below 50% so you're not growing mold. Here's a moisture meter to determine whether there's moisture behind a wall if you're trying to figure out whether or not you're living in mold. Um, you know, Weekly juicery is really nice for ordering some juices that are delivered directly to your door. Cultures for making your own fermented products if you can tolerate those. Socks for improving lymph support and decreasing lymph congestion. Grounding yourself with earthing. Oh, and there's also, yeah, there it is, the dry skin brush. And there's a pendulum for doing some sway test, or not sway testing, but some pendulum testing. This is the one that I recommend. So I hope that that is helpful for you. Hopefully that gives you an idea about how to proceed if you are a more sensitive soul. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.